Hello, 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 hello. It's your girl Lovely the Great. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hey Joy, stuck in a training and your title is making me hungry. For real? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Hey Terry, okay. Kind of busy right now. Totally understandable. Hey Zariah, much love, girl. Hello, Daryl. I love wild mushrooms. Hey Joy. Much love, much love, much love. So y'all, we were talking yesterday on the other channel, and we was talking about getting back to doing some of our, positive content or whatever. So I thought of a series that we're going to start doing on the food channel, which is the channel that we're on right now. And it is called Let's Talk Food. Hey, Deborah. And we will do, it's going to be a series. We'll do episodes and we'll talk about different foods, different, whether it's a meat, a vegetable, or fruit, some type of poultry, whatever. We're going to just talk about different things or whatever, things that we've heard, things about certain foods not being edible or poisonous and things of that nature. I decided to do this video today because what we're talking about today is something that I see every day where I live in my yard. I actually made a little video that I uploaded to my channel a few minutes ago before I scheduled this live of me walking in the yard and showing you all some mushrooms that are growing in my yard. And these pop up every year, okay? So before we get into it, I'm going to show y'all that video. Let me find it real quick. Hold on. Sorry about that. Let me pull it up. And I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about. 1 second. Let me pull it up, y'all. I'm sorry I didn't already have this ready. Here. I'm going to pull it up on YouTube so everybody can see it. I'm going to make it big, y'all. And we'll take a look. And this is my video, so I don't have to worry about no issues or anything, y'all. So now let me put, hey, Vonnie. Hey, Deborah. Much love, ladies. Much love. I'm going to pull this up so you all can see it as well. And we'll take a look-see. And let me make it where that's the screen that we see the most. Okay. And I'm just going to play it real quick, y'all. Hey, y'all. So today we're going to talk about something that we use in our food dishes a lot. A lot of us use this in our food dishes. And a lot of times, depending on what part of the country or what part of the world you live in, you can find these in your yard growing. And that particular item that I'm talking about today is mushrooms. I just so happen to live in Louisiana, and a lot of times I find wild mushrooms growing in my yard. As a matter of fact, here are some right here. I want y'all to look at these wild mushrooms, okay? And today we're going to talk about mushrooms. We're going to talk about wild mushrooms. Are they edible? Are they poisonous? Can you touch them? You know what I'm saying? Is it poisonous to even touch? What you should do when you find wild mushrooms growing in your yard. That's a patch of 3. There is one right there. And I see a few more over here. Not the same color, not the same texture. Can y'all see those right here? Can y'all look at these mushrooms and tell if they are poisonous or edible? And the ones we just looked at. And let's see a patch right here. They look similar to the ones we just saw over there. There's a white one right there. Well, it's kind of like an off-white color. Here's another patch over here. They're like all over my yard. My yard gets very moist. We have a lot of rain. I'm in Louisiana. Y'all know Louisiana is sitting on top of water anyway. Hello, Big K. So this is what we're talking about today. We're going to get some education about mushrooms, wild mushrooms, if they are edible, if they are poisonous, and things of that nature. Okay, so I don't know how many food experts we have in the building. I know we all like to eat, and some of us might like to use mushrooms in our dishes. I know I love mushrooms. I love to put them in my spaghettis. I like to put them in a lot of my casseroles. I cheat and I use like the cream of mushroom, Campbell's cream of mushroom or whatever brand that I can find, and I use that in a lot of my casseroles. Big King said, "Who doing shrooms?" And hey, Miss K, I use a lot of mushrooms in my food dishes or whatever. A lot of times I buy them at the grocery store, and when you do that, you know that 9 out of 10 of the time they're not going to sell you mushrooms that are not edible, that are not okay to eat. But there are people that go out and they literally go out hunting for mushrooms. Like they'll go into the forest, they'll go, like, y'all know mushrooms grow in tree barks and just all kinds of old decaying things mushrooms grow. But how do you know if they are safe to eat, if they are edible, or if they are poisonous? I've heard people say, "Oh, I got some mushrooms in my yard, I'm about to cook them, or I'm about to stuff them, or I'm about to do this," and I'll be like, "You ain't scared to eat that mushroom?" I put mushrooms in my seafood pasta. I know that's right. And mushrooms are so good, and it's a good thing to add to your food, but they can be deadly as well. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to pick mushrooms that are not poisonous, you could end up, getting very sick and or die from eating mushrooms. So I had an article that I had pulled up. Now, watch, I don't be able to find it. I pulled this up a couple days ago to talk about, y'all, and I just never got around to doing it. So let me see if I can find it real quick. And it was talking about, the different mushrooms. Wow. Okay. So I found the article and it says, wild mushrooms, what to eat, what to avoid. Okay. And this is on treehugger.com. Okay. And it says mushroom collecting is one of the most widespread activities in a movement to discover local sources for food that is growing in popularity nationwide. There's a lot of people that literally, they do that like as a hobby, or they just go and hunt and look for mushrooms, y'all. Believe it or not. I know y'all probably like, who would do that? But there are people that literally, they go on trips. They plan trips to go to different parts of the country or the world to find mushrooms. Okay. It's like for people who enjoy foraging for food in the wild, there are plenty of mushrooms to choose from, several thousand fleshy species in North America. Of these many different kinds of mushrooms, almost all are edible, but too fibrous or insignificant to consume. That still leaves a considerable portion of mushrooms as consumable and either fair, good, or choice. While the numbers vary and are debatable, only about 250 are considered significantly poisonous, y'all. With those numbers put the odds of picking an edible rather than a non-edible mushroom heavily in the favor of foragers. Experienced mushroom growers are quick to point out that foraging for mushrooms should never be thought of as a game of chance. Don't guess, advises Trad Cotter, who has cultivating mushrooms for more than 20 years and recently located a fungi research lab and growing operation on his Mushroom Mountain woodland in Liberty, South Carolina. The consequences of making a wrong guess or a misidentification about whether a mushroom is edible can be severe, sometimes requiring a liver transplant or even resulting in death. So yeah, there's a lot of people that like to go out and, you know, look for mushrooms, and they may think that they know, you know, all the characteristics of good edible mushrooms, and they may not. Thank you, King JJ. Much love. Hello, hello, hello. And so they end up getting sick to the point where they need a liver transplant, and some will even die. There were 6,429 cases of people eating poisonous mushrooms and 2 deaths from the toxic mushrooms in 2011. The last year for which data is available, according to the American Association of Poison Control Centers in Alexandria, Virginia. One of the dangers of collecting mushrooms in the wild, Cotter said, is that a toxic lookalikes poisonous mushrooms that resemble edible ones. So there are some that look just like the ones you can eat, y'all, but they are poisonous. And like, who would want to have to sit here and take a chance? That's almost like playing Russian roulette. Or that's almost like tying yourself to a train track and saying, okay, I'm going to stay tied to this train track for 10 hours. If a train come, I'm going to die. But if no train come, after 10 hours, I'm going to tell I'm going to let somebody know to come untie me. Like, you're taking a big chance because you don't know the train schedule or whatever. And with mushrooms, you don't know if that mushroom might look like one that you're not seen at a restaurant, or one that you have seen in a grocery store, but it might not be edible. It might be poisonous. Excuse me. I know, right? JJ, the killer mushrooms. So yeah, so then he says right here, he pointed to the green spore parasol, and they gave the name of this particular mushroom as a classic example. This is the most commonly consumed poisonous mushroom in North America. Now, I almost look like the one we just looked at in my yard. Let me see if I can pull this up where y'all can see it as well. Let me pull this article up online, on the computer, so y'all can see the mushroom that I'm looking at right now. And this is on treehugger.com. And it was about mushrooms. Okay, so because this person clearly is into mushrooms that did this blog or whatever, this video, and I'm gonna definitely put their information in the description as being one of the sources for the information that I'm providing today. This video is for educational purposes, y'all. So under fair use, I will be reading some articles that I find on the internet. Okay. So I'm going to pull it up so y'all can see it, y'all. The mushroom that we were just talking about. Okay, this one right here. Doesn't this look a lot like the one that I just showed y'all in my yard? Like, it looks a lot like one of the ones that I just showed y'all in my yard. Now, this is what it said. It says that one of the dangers of collecting mushrooms in the wild is that of toxic lookalikes, poisonous mushrooms that resemble edible ones. He pointed to the green spore parasol at the right, the one on the right-hand side is the one he pointed to. And he said this one, this is the most commonly consumed poisonous mushroom in North America. When it's young, it looks like the white button mushroom seen in the grocery store produce sections. It can also be confused with the edible shaggy parasol. The green spore parasol is widely spread in lawns, like yards, across eastern North America and California, generally appearing after rains in the summer and fall. We just had a lot of rain, and you look up and there they are. They're out there, these mushrooms. Okay. It says 2 highly desirable and popular edible mushrooms also have toxic lookalikes. Cotter said. Moral mushrooms can be confused with the toxic false morals. It's giving the names of these mushrooms, and they're kind of like Jurametra and Helvella and Verpa species. And chanterelle mushrooms can be mistaken for jack-o'-lantern mushrooms. There's a lot of mushrooms, apparently, that there's a lot of names of mushrooms. And they have lookalikes, y'all, that are poisonous. It says, Cotter thinks that one of the problems with mistaking edible for non-edible mushrooms is the beginner's symptom of knowing just enough to be dangerous. Morals and false morals are a case in point, he said, pointing out that looks can be deceiving. While morals and false morals do have distinct difference in appearances, see the description below, Cotter pointed out that they fruit at the same time. They both have a dimpled appearance and both are partially hollow inside. Wow. So I don't know if he's showing us a good one and a bad one, or if both of these are bad ones, or if both of these are good ones. He said, however, the false moral is even brain-like inside, while a true moral is perfectly and symmetrically hollow. Wow. Oh, okay. So the real moral is this one over here. And this one is the poisonous one, y'all. Can y'all see a difference? Because I ain't going to lie. Oh, wait. I thought I was going to make it bigger. It did not make it bigger. This one is the one that is edible. This is the one that is okay to eat. This is the one that you won't get sick or die. This one, which looks exactly like that one, like, I don't see much of a difference. Do y'all see a difference? This one looks just like that one. And this one is poisonous. Wow. And they look a lot alike. Now, personally, I've never seen a mushroom that looked like this before. But I'm going to take this man's word for it since he's, been growing them for 20-something years, okay? All right, it says the issue with beginners. Wait, did I read that already? Oh, no. The issue with beginners, he said, is that many of them are so eager to harvest wild mushrooms that when they find anything remotely close to a desirable mushroom, like a mortal, that they tend to fill in the blanks with what they want to see rather than what is actually there. In other words, he said, what they do is take a simple rule, but don't apply all the steps necessary to make a positive identification. Then they compound that error by not following up and checking with a local club or expert before consuming a mushroom they collected for the first time. And see, that is a lot of work. But there are people who are into collecting mushrooms and collecting certain, wild vegetables and things of that nature that you just don't find everywhere. But they go out, like I said, some people go out hunting for them. Some people will plan a whole trip that may cost them, over $5,000 to do just to go look for rare or to find different kinds of mushrooms. Y'all, it's crazy. Well, it ain't crazy because, everybody got their own hobbies. Shoot, some people think it's crazy to sit on YouTube all day. So, hey, it is what it is. But anyway, so it also says that many beginners reference common names online and click images on their search engine where many mushrooms are misidentified. This is the biggest complaint by far I have with misleading information online. Anyone can post false information. Exactly. Social media sites are a particular problem, he added. When searching for mushrooms online, Cotter suggested that foragers, stick to a high quality and reference site. When searching for mushrooms in the wild, he said inexperienced foragers should search for mushrooms alongside an experienced and trusted mycologist whenever possible. Now let's look at this next mushroom. And y'all, some of these mushrooms be looking like other things, like human body parts. I'm not gonna say what human body parts they look like, but you know, it's funny how they grow like that. They look like the Smurfs houses. Y'all remember the cartoon, the Smurfs? They look like the little houses that the Smurfs used to live in. Okay, so it says another problem that is a relatively new phenomenon has occurred in California with immigrants who mistakenly harvest poisonous North American mushrooms, thinking they are the same ones as edible mushrooms in their home countries. Immigrants from Asia and Indonesia, Cotter pointed out, sometimes confuse the edible paddy straw mushroom native to their homeland with the death cap mushroom. The genus Amanita is one of the most toxic mushroom genera in the world. Cotter believes that if foragers will follow a few simple guidelines, take the right precautions, and gain a little education about native mushrooms, they will be able to enjoy what should, he said, be an extremely safe activity. His suggestions include, and he has some suggestions here for how to make sure, verify if the mushroom is safe or not. But we're not going to get into his suggestions. We're going to skip past that. We're going to look at some other mushrooms, y'all. Oh my God. Like, mushrooms grow and look so many different ways. They have so many different. This is the ones that they say, the chanterelles. It says edible toxic lookalikes. Chanterelles versus jack-o'-lanterns. The chanterelles are edible. The gold, yellowish, or brilliant orange color of chanterelles make them easy to spot during a walk in the woods. Morels are better known, but chefs tend to prize chanterelles more because of their unique peppery, peachy apricot flavor and because they are found only in the wild. Where they grow? On the east and west coast. At maturity, East Coast chanterelles tend to be smaller, about the size of a fist, than those on the west coast, which can weigh up to 2 pounds. Wow. When to forage? Most of the summer and into the fall on the East Coast, from September to February on the West Coast. A tip from Cotter. On the West Coast, look for chanterelles around conifers. On the East Coast, they prefer hardwoods, especially favoring oak species. Habitat. Chanterelles tend to grow in small clusters among hardwoods, conifers, shrubs, and bushes. They are also often found in leaf litter of mountainous forests and among grasses and mosses. Culinary uses. These meaty mushrooms have a magical appeal for chefs and home cooks alike. Slice them into generous sized pieces to retain as much of the flavor as possible. Saute them in butter, cream, oil, or chicken broth. Their distinctive flavor stands up well in soups, stews, and with main courses such as scallops, chicken, pork, or veal. And they're showing like the other ones that look similar to those, y'all, are right here, the jack-o'-lanterns. These are toxic. And look, they almost look, well, these are more of a brighter color, but some of these are bright color too, so they look somewhat a lot alike, y'all. And it says the jack-o'-lanterns mushrooms is a common mushroom and has two forms in the United States. East of the Rocky Mountains, Amphilochus illudens is a bright orange. West of the Rockies, Amphilochus olivicens grows in southern to central California, where it has olive shades mixed with orange. Jack-o'-lanterns can be found in urban settings in large clusters at the base of trees, on stumps, or on buried wood. How to tell them from a chanterelle? which is something that I would love to know. Look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I ain't going mushroom hunting. It's too dangerous. It's too risky. As much as I love a good old mushroom, nah, I think I would rather buy them in the store. Anyway, it says there are two primary differences between chanterelles and jack-o'-lanterns. The jack-o'-lantern has true, sharp, non-forking gills that descend the stalk, whereas chanterelles have blunt, gill-like ridges on the cap of the stem. Did y'all hear that? That's one big difference of the two. And it says when the stem of a jack-o'-lantern is peeled, the inside is orange. On chanterelles, the interior of the stem is paler than the exterior. So that's another way you can tell the difference. And then it says symptoms. Symptoms from eating jack-o'-lantern appear within 30 minutes after consumption and usually abate within 24 hours. Symptoms include, oh my goodness, excessive secretion of tears, perspiration, and salivation. So you're going to be, I guess, spitting, have a lot of saliva and stuff. Difficulty breathing, a drop in blood pressure, an irregular heartbeat, nausea, vomiting, cramps, and diarrhea. Oh my goodness! This, if you eat this particular, poisonous mushroom, y'all, and it looks so much like the other one that is edible, and you pretty much have to know what you're doing, and you got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot to worry about just to eat, some wild vegetation. All right, so it says two more edible toxic lookalikes: morels versus false morels. Y'all see these mushrooms right here? Okay, morels, edible. Morels are considered a gourmet's delight and one of America's most popular and highly regarded mushrooms. They range in color from cream to almost black, and their honeycomb pattern makes them easy to spot. Where they grow, morels grow in almost every state. Exceptions are Florida, which is too hot, and Arizona, which is too arid. So you won't see morels in Florida or Arizona, y'all. It says when to forage. Early spring before the trees leaf out. That's February on the Pacific coast, March to mid-April in the south, and May in the northeast. Peak season is April to May. We did not see any like that out there in the yard, y'all. We did not. Anyway, a tip from Cotter. Carry a cooking thermometer to measure the ground temperature. Morels fruit only when the ground temperature is 50 to 58 degrees. So that's a tip from the guy that they were, I guess, interviewing about this or whatever. It says habitat. Morels associate with moist areas and specific tree types: ash, tulip, oak, hickory, sycamore, cottonwood, maple, beech, conifers, and apples. Cotter urges caution in foraging in apple orchards because morels are excellent at absorbing pesticide residue, which can remain in the soil for long periods. Culinary use. Morels have a unique, smoky, earthy, nutty flavor that is prized by cooks worldwide. The darker the color, the stronger the flavor. A popular way to cook them is to simply saute them in butter with salt and cracked pepper. Wash thoroughly, but be aware that because of their honeycomb structure, they may retain some bits of soil that can't be washed out. Now, let's look at the ones that are the false ones, y'all. The bad ones. Y'all see this right here? False morels. These are toxic. There are approximately a dozen species of false morels that grow in the United States. False morels fruit in the spring at the same time as morels, as well as in the summer and fall. How to tell them from a true morel. Though people sometimes confuse the two, they are actually quite different. The caps of false morals have a wrinkled, brain-like or saddle-shaped structure rather than a honeycomb look. Also, when sliced down the middle, lengthwise from the top, morals have hollow interiors, where false morals have a cotton ball-looking substance inside their stems. Symptoms. False morals are toxic to the liver. Onset of illness usually occurs 6 to 48 hours after consumption. Symptoms include nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, diarrhea, dizziness, headache, muscle cramps, bloating, and fatigue. Oh my goodness, y'all. All right, the next session, it says 2 of the deadliest mushrooms in the world, y'all. Oh my. This almost looked like one of the ones we saw out there in the front yard, y'all. 2 of the deadliest mushrooms in the world. It says mushrooms in the genera Amanita are among the deadliest in the world. Here are some ways to recognize 2 of these. Death caps. This highly toxic mushroom is blamed for the most mushroom poisonings in the world. While native to Europe, death caps occur on the U.S. East and West Coast. Description. Death caps have a 6-inch wide cap, often sticky to the touch, that can be yellowish, brownish, whitish, or greenish in color. The cap has white gills and grow on a stalk about 5 inches tall with a white cup at the base. Wow, interesting. And it says can be confused with young death caps, can resemble puffballs, which encompass the genera Calvatia, Calbovista, and Lycoperdon. When seen, September to November, habitat under pines, oaks, dogwoods, and other trees. So these grow underneath certain trees, y'all. We got a lot of pine trees in my yard and surrounding my yard. I just wanted to let y'all know that. Symptoms, none immediately. You don't have no symptoms immediately, y'all. Then the person will experience vomiting, diarrhea, and cramps. After several days, these symptoms will go away and the person will think they are okay. However, they are not. During this time, internal organs are being severely damaged, sometimes irreparably. Death can occur 6 to 18 days after ingestion. Oh my God, y'all. 6 to 18 days later after eating this mushroom, you can die. Now, here's the next one, y'all. Or maybe that's the same one. I don't know. Oh, yeah, this is the next one. It's called Destroying Angels. Why would they call it that? Destroying angels get their name from their pure white stalk and caps. And if I'm not mistaken, that looks a lot like one of the ones we saw outside. But I can't tell because I have to literally put it up next to it so I can know that that's it. Excuse me. It says, like the death caps, they belong to the genus Amanita, with several species occurring in different regions of the country. All, however, have a similar white fruiting body. Description: an attractive white cap, stalk, and gills. Can be confused with, in their button stage, destroying angels can be diffused with button mushrooms, meadow mushrooms, porch mushrooms, and puffballs. When seen, summer and fall. Wow. Habitat. All Amanita species form relationships with roots of certain trees. Destroying angels can be found in or near woodlands or near shrubs and trees in suburban lawns or meadows. Symptoms: diarrhea, nausea, abdominal pain, generally occur 5 to 12 hours after ingestion. As with death caps, the symptoms will typically go away and the victim might think they don't need to see a doctor. However, a day or two later, the symptoms will return and get worse. By then, it will probably be too late because the poison will likely suffer liver and kidney failure and enter a hepatic coma that ends in death. If they survive, treatment is severe. They will need a liver transplant. Oh my God. Just look, this make you want to go out there and just chop them all off and throw them back, burn them things up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want them out there no more. Goodness gracious. Here goes another one, y'all. Look at this one. 3 mushrooms that are edible and tasty to boot. A thumbnail look at 3 other edible mushrooms popular with foragers. Lion's mane mushroom, also known as the bearded tooth, hedgehog, or pom-pom mushroom. The distinctive Hericium erinaceus can be found growing on hardwood trees in late summer and fall. Its distinctive shape, which resembles the mane of a male lion or a pom-pom, is unlike any other mushroom. Its taste is also unique and often compared to seafood. I never tasted a mushroom that tasted almost like seafood. How to recognize it? Beech trees are frequent hosts. Another identifying characteristic is that it tends to grow its spines from one group rather than from branches. It can also grow very high in the trees, as much as 40 feet up the trunk. Now here's another one, y'all. Maytake mushrooms, also known as hen of the woods, ram's, or sheep's head. Maytake mushroom grow at the base of hardwood trees such as oaks. It is prolific in the northeast, but has been found as far west as Idaho. Because they can grow quite large and become too tough to eat, they should be harvested when they are young. Older specimens can be dried, powdered, and used for soaps. No, not soaps. Soups. I don't know why I thought I saw the word soap, y'all. Soups and sauces, also for a unique breeding adjunct. How to recognize it? Maytakes have small overlapping tongue or fan-shaped caps. All right, y'all. Oyster mushrooms. Oyster mushrooms belong to a genus of some of the most commonly eaten mushrooms. They can be found in every season of the year, but are most prolific in cooler weather. Be sure to clean carefully to remove any insects that may be hiding in the gills and discard the stems, which tend to be woody. How to recognize it? Look for their scallop caps on dying hardwood trees such as oaks, maples, and dogwoods, especially after the first rains of the fall. The caps are a whitish gray, sometimes tan. Cultivated berries found in grocery stores may have blue, yellow, or pink caps. Okay. And then photo credits, all the photos except the death cap by Olga Katic Carter. Okay. The death cap was by Tatiana Bolyankova. Okay. Now, wow, that's so interesting, y'all. That is interesting, and a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know about, that there are some people live in the city areas where they don't never see mushrooms growing around anyway. But if you live in the country or, like close to wooded areas and things of that nature, you may see them more often. Like I said, one side of my yard that I have not cleared off has nothing but trees and bushes and things of that nature. And there are lots of different species of mushrooms growing on the trees, around the trees, underneath the trees, around the bushes and things of that nature. The ones that I showed y'all today are just out there in my yard. The yard hasn't been cut in about 2 weeks. It has rained pretty often in those 2 weeks, and this is what is out there right now in the yard. And they grow, you know, sometimes out there rain or just, you know, whatever. Hello, a smile for Don. Much love. Those names alone makes me not want to eat them. I know that's right, Miss T. I think, look, that just gave me the whole heebie-jeebies. Like, you could, well, I would expect you probably would never, you know, eat a poisonous mushroom at a restaurant, because most of the time they order their stuff, you know, from people that have been growing them and things like that. But what if you were to eat, you know, go to somebody's house and they tell me, oh yeah, I got some nice fresh veggies and baby done sauteed them dang on mushrooms up and got it smelling good with that butter and that goddamn garlic and that doggone onions and peppers and all that good stuff, and you up here eating you a good old stir fry and it's so good and yummy, and you get home and you get the vomiting and diarrhea and all this stuff, and oh no, honey, it ain't even. Look, don't ever feed me no damn wild mushroom. No, I don't even want no mushrooms no more. I'm sorry. It gotta be. I gotta know. Look, but you don't have a way of knowing. Like, oh my goodness, because some of these mushrooms, like, what about these desperate people that just, you know, they want to have this certain thing in their restaurant or whatever, and they just might get some from, you know, somebody that's selling them on the corner and stuff. Look at me, I'm tripping. Don't nobody be running around here selling no mushrooms on the corner. But I'm just saying, like, it just make me look at mushrooms a whole different way. Although I love them, you know what I'm saying? I love mushrooms, and you may see a few of my dishes that I have on this channel. They include mushroom, but they're usually, for me, I buy them in the store or I buy them in a can. It'll be a can of cream of mushroom or what have you, because, you know, that's just how I do with mushrooms. So y'all have any questions for me? I'm gonna put the link to this article in my description, and then I'm gonna let y'all look at my video again, because some of y'all wasn't in here when I showed it, the video of the mushrooms in my yard, y'all. These are the mushrooms that are outside in my yard right now. I went outside this morning and did this video just for our live stream discussion that we're talking about right now. So for those of y'all that came in late that did not see it, I'm going to play it again so y'all can see it. And if y'all think any of these mushrooms that we just looked at on this video resemble the ones in my yard, let me know, because I was, shoot, all of them started looking like it. You know, even the funny shaped ones that don't look nothing like it, they started looking like them. Okay. Hey y'all, so today we're going to talk about something that we use in our food dishes a lot. A lot of us use this in our food dishes, and a lot of times, depending on what part of the country or what part of the world you live in, you can find these in your yard growing. And that particular item that I'm talking about today is mushrooms. I just so happen to live in Louisiana, and a lot of times I find wild mushrooms growing in my yard. As a matter of fact, here are some right here. I want y'all to look at these wild mushrooms, okay? And today we're going to talk about mushrooms. We're going to talk about wild mushrooms. Oh, that look like one of the mushrooms we saw. Touch them. You know what I'm saying? Is it poisonous to even touch? What you should do when you find wild mushrooms growing in your yard. That's a patch of 3. There is one right there. And I see a few more over here. Not the same color, not the same texture. Can y'all see those right here? Oh, I'm just like freaked out by these mushrooms now. I want them gone. And the ones we just looked at. And then I see a patch right here. They look similar to the ones we just saw over there. There's a white one right there. Well, it's kind of like an off-white color. Here's another patch over here. They're like all over. Oh, I'm just so freaked out by these mushrooms now, y'all. Y'all know Louisiana is sitting on top of water anyway. So this is what we're talking about today. We're going to get some education about mushrooms, wild mushrooms, if they are edible, if they're poisonous, and things of that nature. Oh my, just looking at them, y'all, it just makes me want to go out there and take a, I don't know, not a shovel, but just something and just like tear them up and just get rid of them. It's just a thought, you know what I'm saying? I am not going to eat them mushrooms. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to go out there and just like rake them together, rake them into a pile and burn them things or whatever. I don't know. But shoot, burn them they might smell good and I might want to eat them. But yeah, they got to go. They got to go. Just the thought that, you could eat, I wouldn't want nobody to even pick one up, you know what I'm saying, and think it's some kind of fruit or vegetable. It gotta go. Okay. So I enjoyed our session today, y'all. This is going to be a new series. It's called Let's Talk Food. We will do these. I don't know. I'm not going to say how often because I ain't going to sit here and put a time and a schedule on there and then we don't do it. But we will be doing these often on this channel, the Lovely the Great Food channel. The next one that I think we're going to talk about is tilapia. Some people say tilapia is good for you and some people say it is not. So that's going to be our next Let's Talk Food topic. We're going to talk about tilapia, the fish. Okay, it's your girl Lovely the Great, and if y'all have any questions about what we talked about today, post those in the comment section. If y'all have a food that y'all would like for us to discuss, post that in the comment section. Much love, everybody, and I'll talk to y'all later. Looks like, oh, fudgy, the white one. Can't wait for the tilapia. Yeah, because a lot of people, like, I cook tilapia all the time, and people be like, you shouldn't eat tilapia. It's bad for you. It's not even a real fish. It's a man-made fish. I mean, they be saying the most, y'all. And I'll be like, I don't know what y'all talking about. This is some good eating, okay? So we're going to talk about tilapia on our next topic, y'all. Much love, everybody. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.